My name is Amara. I want to tell you my story. It is not a happy story at first, but it is my story, and it matters to me. For a long time, I thought I was safe. I thought love would protect me. I thought family could never hurt me. I believed those things with my whole heart. I was wrong. Nothing bad happened all at once. There was no big fight, no loud argument, no warning. It started with small things, very small things, so small that I ignored them. A message that disappeared, a smile that came too late, a laugh that was not meant for me, a feeling in my chest that felt cold. I told myself I was being silly. I told myself I was jealous. I told myself to stop thinking so much. I loved them. They loved me. That was enough. Or so I thought. I am telling you this because betrayal does not come like a storm. It comes quietly. It sits beside you. It looks familiar. By the end of this story, I will lose two people I trusted more than myself. I will stand alone in a place that once felt like home, and I will have to decide who I am without them. If you have ever ignored your own voice to keep the people you love, listen to mine now. This is my story. Before everything changed, my life was quiet. Not exciting, not perfect, but good. I lived in a small apartment near the river. The walls were light gray. The mornings smelled like coffee. At night, I could hear cars passing and people talking outside. I liked those sounds. They made me feel less alone. I lived there with my husband. His name was Elias. We met when we were young, before life became heavy, before dreams turned into responsibilities. He was calm. He listened when people spoke. When he looked at me, I felt seen. With Elias, I felt safe. I did not have to pretend. I did not have to be strong all the time. I could be tired. I could be quiet. He still stayed. Our life was simple. We ate dinner together most nights. We sat at a small wooden table we bought from a used store. Sometimes the chairs made noise when we moved. We laughed about that. On weekends, we walked by the river. We held hands. We talked about small things, sometimes about big things. We talked about the future, where we might live one day, what kind of house we wanted, what kind of life. Sometimes we did not talk at all. We just walked. The silence felt comfortable. It felt safe. I believed we were building something strong. We had arguments, like everyone does, but we always talked after. We always came back to each other. I trusted him without thinking. Trust felt easy. It felt natural. I worked hard. He worked hard too. We supported each other. When things were difficult, I told myself it would pass. When things were good, I thought this was happiness. It was quiet happiness, steady happiness. I did not know how quickly it could disappear. I did not know how fragile it was. I thought love, once chosen, stayed chosen. I thought loyalty was automatic, that normal life was the ground under my feet, and I had no idea it was already starting to crack. I was not alone in that life. There was someone else who mattered just as much to me. Her name was Lena. She was my younger sister. We grew up together, in the same small house, in the same small town. We shared a room for years. We shared clothes. We shared secrets. When I was sad, she made me laugh. When she was scared, I stayed close. I protected her. That was my role. She was not just my sister. She was my best friend. We promised each other things when we were young. We promised we would always help each other, no matter what, no matter who came into our lives. I believed that promise completely. After Elias and I got married, Lena moved to our city. She wanted a fresh start, a new job, a new life. I was so happy when she came. My husband and my sister were in the same place. My whole world felt complete. Lena did not know many people in the city. She came to our apartment often, sometimes for dinner, sometimes just to talk. The three of us spent a lot of time together. We cooked meals, we watched movies, we laughed. Elias helped her with many things. He helped her fix her car. He helped her with job applications. He gave her advice. I liked that he cared. I thought it made him kind. I thought he was being a good brother to her. I was happy they got along. It made my life feel easier, safer. When I looked at them together, I felt proud. Proud of my family. Proud of the life we had built. I never felt the need to worry. Why would I? They were the two people I trusted most in the world. I did not know that trust could be shared too freely. I did not know that love, when left unguarded, can change its shape. At that time, I believed I had everything I needed. A husband who loved me. A sister who stood by me. I believed nothing could come between us. The change did not come suddenly. That is why I missed it. At first, everything looked the same. The same apartment, the same routines, the same smiles. But small things began to feel different. Lena started coming over when I was not home. She said it was easier. She said she was already nearby. I did not think much about it. Elias talked about her more often. He said she was funny. He said she was smart. He said she was doing well at her new job. I smiled when he spoke. I told myself it was normal. She was my sister. He was my husband. Sometimes when I came home from work, they were already sitting together, talking, laughing. When I joined them, the conversation changed. Not in a bad way, just quieter, shorter. I felt something then, a small feeling, cold and light. I pushed it away. I told myself I was imagining things. I told myself I was tired. I told myself I was being jealous. Jealousy felt like a dirty word. I did not want to be that kind of person. Lena brought Elias lunch at his office sometimes. She said she was being helpful. She said he worked too much. I thanked her. I meant it. Elias started coming home later. Not every night, just sometimes. He said work was busy. He said there was a big project. He said things would calm down soon. I believed him. When he came home tired, I felt sorry for him. I made him tea. I covered him with a blanket when he fell asleep on the couch. Still, that cold feeling returned, only a little stronger. Sometimes I caught them looking at each other. Not for long, just a second. I noticed how Lena fixed her hair when Elias entered the room. I noticed how Elias listened when she spoke. I told myself I was reading too much into it. One night I stood alone in the kitchen. I listened to them talking in the living room. Their voices sounded close. I felt strange, left out. I hated that feeling. So I buried it. I chose peace over questions, trust over doubt. I did not know then that ignoring your instincts does not make them disappear. It only makes them louder later. At that time, I still believed love meant patience, and patience meant staying quiet. After that, I tried harder. Harder to be calm, harder to be trusting, harder to ignore the feeling inside me. I told myself I was lucky. A loving husband, a close sister. Not everyone had that. When something felt wrong, I blamed myself. If Elias came home late, I told myself he was tired. If Lena canceled plans with me, I told myself she was busy. Whenever a thought scared me, I pushed it away. One evening, Elias came home very late. It was past midnight. I was worried. I called his office. A man answered. His voice was sleepy. I asked if Elias was there. The man said no. Everyone had left hours ago. My hands started shaking. An hour later, Elias came home. He looked tired. He smiled like everything was normal. I asked where he was. He said he went out with his boss. He said they needed to talk about work. He showed me his phone. The battery was dead. I wanted to believe him. I needed to believe him. Then I smelled something. Flowers. Perfume. It was not mine. I knew that smell. I said it quietly. "You smell like flowers." He answered quickly. "My boss is a woman. She wears perfume." Then he walked into the bedroom. He closed the door. I stood there alone. The house felt very quiet. The next day I felt ashamed. Ashamed for doubting him. Ashamed for thinking badly of my sister. I told myself I was making stories. I told myself love means trust, and trust means silence. I decided to change. I decided to be better. I smiled more. I asked fewer questions. I told myself everything was fine. I even talked to Lena about it. I tried to sound calm. I said I felt a little left out sometimes. She laughed. She told me I was silly. She told me I was the most important person in Elias's life. She held my hand. She said she loved me. I believed her. I wanted to believe her. That was the worst part. Not the lies. Not the betrayal. It was how easy it was to convince me to doubt myself. A week later, something small happened. But it stayed with me. It was my birthday. Elias gave me a necklace. It was silver. It had a small heart on it. I loved it. I truly did. I wore it every day. To work, to sleep, to the store. It made me feel special. Chosen. A few days later, Lena came over for dinner. She walked in smiling. She hugged me. Then I saw it. She was wearing a necklace, too. Silver. A heart. Her heart was bigger than mine. It had a small diamond in the center. My stomach tightened. "That's a beautiful necklace," I said. My voice sounded far away. She touched it and smiled. "Oh, this?" she said. "I saw it in a shop and loved it." She looked at me. "We have the same taste," she said. Elias smiled at her. Not quickly, not politely. I looked down at my own necklace. Suddenly it felt small, ordinary. I told myself it meant nothing. It was just jewelry, just coincidence. I told myself I was jealous again. I hated that word. That night, I stood in front of the mirror. I touched my necklace. I remembered how happy I felt when Elias gave it to me. I remembered how safe I felt. Now that feeling was gone. I took the necklace off. I placed it in the drawer. I closed it slowly. I did not know why, but something inside me understood. That necklace was not just a gift. It was a warning, and I ignored it. After that night, I tried to forget. I told myself to move on. I told myself to stop looking for signs. I focused on work. I kept busy. I came home tired. For a few days, things felt normal again, almost peaceful. Then Elias started working late every night, not once or twice, almost every day. He said there was a deadline. He said the project was important. He said it would not last long. I nodded. I believed him. One night he did not come home at all. I waited. I checked the time again and again. At midnight, I called him. No answer. At 1 in the morning, he sent a message. "Sorry, working late. Phone almost dead." I did not sleep. The next morning, he came home. He smelled clean, too clean. I said nothing. A week later, our wedding anniversary was coming. 5 years. I wanted it to be special. I booked a small trip to the mountains, a quiet place, a house near a lake. I surprised him with the news. I smiled when I told him. He did not smile back. He looked worried. He said he could not go. He said he had to work all weekend. My heart sank. I canceled the trip. I did not argue. I did not cry in front of him. The next day, I left work early. I was driving home when my phone rang. It was my friend, Maya. She asked if I was okay. She said I sounded sad. I told her about the canceled trip. There was silence. Then she spoke slowly. "Are you sure he is working?" My hands tightened on the wheel. She told me she was in the mountain town, the same town I booked for our trip. She said she saw Elias. He was not alone. He was with a woman. They were holding hands. They were laughing. I asked what she looked like. My voice was barely there. Maya was quiet. Then she said my sister's name. The world went silent. In that moment, everything fell apart. All the small signs, all the lies, they came together, and I knew the truth. I do not remember how I drove home. I do not remember the road. I do not remember the traffic. My hands were shaking. My chest hurt. It felt hard to breathe. When I reached the apartment, it was empty. The lights were off. The silence was loud. I stood in the doorway for a long time. Everything looked the same, but nothing felt the same. I walked through the rooms, the couch where we sat together, the kitchen where we cooked, the wall with our photos. Every memory felt like a lie. I could not stay there. I got back in my car. I drove to my parents' house. I did not call them. I just arrived. My mother opened the door. She looked at my face. She did not ask questions. She held me. I cried until my body hurt. I stayed there for 2 days. I did not answer my phone. Elias called again and again. Lena called too. On the 3rd day, I knew I had to go back. I needed answers. I needed the truth. When I walked into my apartment, Elias was there. He was sitting on the couch. He looked tired, older. He stood up quickly when he saw me. "Where have you been?" he asked. I was worried. I stepped back when he tried to touch me. "Don't," I said. He froze. "I know," I said. "I know about you and Lena." His face went pale. He opened his mouth. No words came out. "My friend saw you," I said. "In the mountain town, holding her hand." He sat down slowly. His shoulders dropped. "It's not what you think," he said. I laughed. It did not sound like me. "You canceled our trip," I said. "Our anniversary, for her." He looked at the floor. "How long?" I asked. My voice was calm, too calm. He was quiet. "How long?" I asked again. "A few months," he whispered. Something broke inside me. All the late nights, the perfume, the necklace. I was not crazy. "You lied to me," I said. "You lied every day." "I love you," he said. The words hurt more than the truth. "No," I said. "You don't love me. You don't hurt someone like this if you love them." Tears ran down my face. I did not wipe them away. "Get out," I said. He looked up, confused. "Leave," I said. "Pack your things and go." He cried. He begged. "I made a mistake," he said. "This wasn't a mistake," I said. "This was a choice." He packed a bag. He did not speak again. At the door, he turned around. "I'm sorry," he said. I did not answer. The door closed. I was alone. The apartment felt empty after he left. Not quiet, empty. I sat on the floor for a long time. I did not cry. I did not think. The next day, Lena came. I saw her car from the window. My stomach tightened. I did not want to open the door. But I did. She stood there. Her eyes were red. Her face looked smaller. "Why?" I asked. That was all I could say. She started crying. She said she never meant to hurt me. She said it just happened. "It just happened," I repeated. She said she was lonely. She said Elias was kind. She said one thing led to another. "You could have stopped," I said, "at any moment." She shook her head. She begged me to forgive her. I looked at her. My little sister. The girl I protected. I did not recognize her. You chose him, I said quietly. You chose him over me. She reached for my hand. I pulled away. I don't have a sister anymore, I said. Her face broke. I closed the door. I sat with my back against it. I listened to her cry outside. For a long time. Then I heard her car leave. That was the moment I lost both of them. The days after were dark. Time moved slowly. I took the photos off the walls, our wedding pictures, pictures of Lena and me as children. I put them in a box. I hid it away. I went to work. I came home. I ate very little. I slept even less. The apartment felt like a place I was visiting, not a home. Every corner hurt. I felt like a stranger in my own life, like someone else had lived it before me. And now, I was alone in the ruins. The weeks after that were heavy, very heavy. I moved through my days like a shadow. I woke up. I went to work. I came home. That was all. I did not talk much. I did not laugh. I did not care about anything. Food tasted like nothing. Sleep did not help. At night, the apartment felt too big. Every sound felt loud. Every memory felt close. I avoided certain rooms. I avoided certain thoughts. Sometimes I sat on the couch and stared at the wall, the place where our wedding photo used to hang. I felt nothing when I looked there. Not sadness, not anger, just emptiness. My friend Maya called me every day. She brought me food. She sat with me in silence. She did not try to fix me. She did not rush me. She stayed. That mattered more than words. Some mornings I did not want to get out of bed. I told myself to stand up anyway. Just stand. I started taking short walks. Not far. Just around the block. I watched people pass by. Strangers living their lives. The world did not stop because mine broke. That thought hurt. But it was also grounding. One morning I opened the window. The air was cool, fresh. I stood there for a long time. For the first time, I noticed I was breathing. Really breathing. I still cried. Often. But the tears came softer. I learned something then. Healing does not arrive loudly. It comes quietly. It comes when you are not looking. It comes in small moments. A deep breath, a step outside, a night that ends. I was still broken, but I was still here, and that was the beginning. One morning, something felt different. Not better, just different. I woke up before my alarm. The room was quiet. Sunlight came through the window. I did not cry right away. That surprised me. I made coffee. I sat at the table. I drank it slowly. I started doing small things. Very small things. I took longer walks. I went to the park near my apartment. I sat on a bench and watched people pass. Children ran and laughed. Dogs pulled on their leashes. Life was happening. I bought new curtains, a lighter color. I opened the windows more often. One day I painted the walls, a soft yellow. It felt warm. The apartment started to change, and so did I. I cleaned out drawers. I gave away clothes I never wore. I threw away things that held too much memory. It hurt, but it also felt clean. I started reading again. Books I used to love, stories that were not mine. At night, I wrote in a notebook, not full sentences, just thoughts. Some pages were angry, some were sad, some were empty. I did not judge any of it. Maya noticed the changes. She smiled more when she came over. "You're different," she said one evening. "Lighter." I did not know if that was true, but I felt something growing. It was not happiness, not yet. It was space, space to breathe, space to think, space to exist without pain filling every corner. I learned that healing does not mean forgetting. It means making room. Room for yourself. A week later, something unexpected happened. I ran into an old friend at the grocery store. Her name was Nora. I had not seen her in years. She looked at me and smiled, not the polite kind, the real kind. "You look good," she said. "Healthy." I did not know how to answer that. We talked for a few minutes, about small things, about life. Then she said something that stayed with me. "I teach art classes at the community center," she said. "You always loved to draw." I had forgotten that, forgotten completely. When I was younger, I loved drawing. Flowers, trees, anything. Life got busy. Then it stopped. That night, I thought about her words. The idea felt strange and exciting. The next Thursday, I went to the class. My hands shook when I walked in. There were a few people there, all quiet, all focused. Nora handed me paper and colors. "Draw whatever you feel," she said. I stared at the blank page. Then I started drawing circles, yellow ones, sunflowers. I did not think. I just moved my hand. For 2 hours, I forgot everything else, the pain, the past. When the class ended, I felt calm, lighter. I took the drawing home. I put it on my fridge. It was not perfect, but it was mine. That night, I realized something important. I was not only a wife, I was not only a sister, I was still me. One evening, after art class, I was walking home. The air was cool, the sky was dark and clear. I felt calm. Then I saw them. They were walking toward me on the sidewalk. Elias and Lena. My heart started beating fast. For a moment, I wanted to turn around. I wanted to disappear. But I didn't. I kept walking. Elias saw me first. His face changed. Lena stopped too. We stood there. 3 people who used to be a family. "Hello," Elias said quietly. "Hello," I said. My voice sounded steady. That surprised me. "How are you?" Lena asked. Her voice was small. "I'm good," I said. And it was true. They looked uncomfortable, unsure. "I'm glad you're well," Elias said. "Thank you," I answered. No anger came, no tears, just calm. After a moment, I walked past them. I did not look back. When I got home, I sat on my couch. I waited for the pain. It did not come. I realized then that they were part of my past, not my present, not my future, and that felt like freedom. A few days later, I was sitting in the park. On the same bench I liked, I watched people walk by. I watched children run. I watched dogs chase birds. Life kept moving. A little girl nearby was crying. She had dropped her ice cream. It fell on the ground. She cried hard, like her world had ended. Her mother knelt beside her. "It's okay," she said. "We can get another one." "But I wanted that one," the girl said. I understood her. They walked to the ice cream truck. The girl got a new cone, a different flavor. She smiled. She forgot the first one. I thought about that for a long time. Sometimes we lose something we love. We cry. We feel broken. We think nothing will replace it. But life gives us something new. Not the same. Not better or worse. Just different. People you trust can hurt you. People you love can leave. That pain feels unbearable, like you will never be whole again. But healing is real. It happens slowly, in walks, in quiet mornings, in small joys. You do not become the same person again, and that is okay. You become stronger, more aware, more honest with yourself. Loss does not end you. It changes you, and change, even painful change, can lead you back to yourself. One morning, I woke up early. The sun was just rising. I made coffee. I sat at my table. The yellow walls felt warm. My drawing was on the fridge. My notebook was open. Everything around me was mine. I chose it. I thought about the woman I used to be, the one who stayed quiet, the one who ignored her own voice. I felt sad for her, but I was also proud. She survived. I am not the same person now. I am stronger. I am braver. I listen to myself. Some days are still hard. Some memories still hurt. But they do not control me. I learned that love should not make you smaller. Trust should not make you doubt yourself. If someone leaves your life, it does not mean you are broken. Sometimes it means your life is making space. Space for growth. Space for peace. Space for you. If you are listening to this and hurting, know this. You can survive this too. You can rebuild. You can find yourself again. Just like I did. Like a sunflower, you will turn toward the light, even after the storm.